I'm Daniela Fayer, Group Publisher Defense at GovExec, and I'm in Tampa, Florida at Soft Week 2023. With me is Tim Winter, President of iDirect Government, to talk about the revolutionary changes in MILSATCOM. Tim, thanks so much for being with me.
Absolutely, Daniel. Thank you for having me and thank you for your time today. I look forward to discussing the very dynamic space and industry that we're currently operating in. Before we start, I'd like to tell you a little bit about iDirect Government. We are a leading provider of global Satcom IP networks to the many users of the U.S. DoD and U.S. government. We cherish our customer base and we continue to be pleased to serve them, and we'll talk about some of our advanced technology that we're bringing to help the warfighter.
Awesome, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more, and I'm going to throw some questions your way. I want to start with talking a little bit about Space Force.
Sure.
I know they've mentioned lately leveraging commercial products in the defense domain. So what are your thoughts about that, and how does iDirect Government kind of fit into that request and need?
Yeah, it's a great question. And look, the government has been buying commercial off-the-shelf technology for decades, so this is nothing new. But Space Force, as you mentioned, has reiterated their desire to continue to invest in COTS hardware. And there's some advantages for having a COTS hardware platform and products that we bring to the government. With COTS, there is mitigated technical risk. So in other words, commercial companies obviously have a vested interest in developing this technology. Speed of innovation and speed of development also can be found in the commercial world that can be leveraged into the government space. But COTS alone is not enough, and that's where we come in as iDirect Government, where we build our products, and we'll talk about a few of them on COTS hardware, but add the security features and the advanced necessary requirements or features and requirements that the government needs to support the warfighter in the field. And so we're excited to continue to do that. We'll talk about some of our innovation, but yeah, at the core of our current and next-gen platform is commercial technology.
That's amazing. I know the industry's been buzzing lately about the need for multi-orbit and multi-waveform solutions. Do you feel that that's the future for MILSATCOM? And I mean, how do you guys plan to address that?
Yeah, great question. So it's, as I mentioned, it's a very dynamic time in the satellite industry. The constellations that have come online in the last 3 to 5 years is incredibly impressive. These are at multi-orbit, so we have LEOs, MEOs, and GEOs. LEO being low Earth orbit, MEO medium Earth orbit, and then obviously geostationary satellites. This will all be part of the solution set, servicing many mission sets for the end user going forward. Now, this is good news. It's good news for the end user, it's good news for the industry, it's good news for the government. Certain missions require low latency, which will fit in better with a LEO or MEO constellation, while certain missions that require more of a broadcast communications capability where latency is not that important will still fall in the GEO basket. Now, our next-gen platform is going to be built around providing a single platform that can serve a multi-orbit function and capability to the end user.
Okay.
This is not only important like I said, to serve that multi-mission set, but also to provide resiliency and redundancy. So if a constellation is knocked out or no longer available, our equipment can allow the warfighter to switch to a different satellite, different constellation in a very seamless manner. So that's multi-orbit, very important. Multi-waveform also, we want to enable multiple mission capability from our equipment, which requires sort of multiple waveforms to provide different capabilities, out of a single Satcom kit. So that's, we're laser focused on providing that capability to the warfighter in the very near future.
Awesome, lots of acronyms.
Yeah,
we
sorry.
Have a few new ones. I know there's been a lot of RFIs and RFPs requesting solutions for Satcom as a service. It's another buzzword, right?
Yeah.
How are you adjusting your business and products to kind of respond to that demand?
Sure. So the U.S. government's been talking about Satcom as a service really for more than a decade. And finally, the acquisition process is catching up with the capability to implement that type of solution. Us at iDirect, so we have an ecosystem of partners, whether it be terminal providers, whether it be service providers, and what we want to do is enable them to provide Satcom as a service to the government. There's a couple things that have to happen. We have to keep that in mind when we design our technical solution, and our ability to provide service levels, appropriate service levels to our service providers so they can offer those to the government and the end user. So there's really a technical capability that has to be provided in that stead, and then also a financial capability. This will be sort of an operating expense and not a capital expense for the end user, and we have to match sort of financial terms and enable that from a financial standpoint for our service providers.
It's a different model.
Yeah, absolutely, different model, but it's exciting. This is starting to get traction. Like I said, the government's been talking about it for a long time. I think it's a great capability for the government, especially to add sort of modular capabilities and contingency capabilities. And we're here to serve our ecosystem and the government in the end. Yeah.
Awesome. I got to touch on the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's brought a lot of issues to the forefront in the news, including security breaches and satellite jammings, which is kind of particular to your industry. How is iDirect government meeting the ever-changing security landscape? I mean, how do you and your team just like cope with these things?
Yeah, I think that the conflict in Ukraine has been it has been a wake-up call, but it's been a reminder that, look, satellite networks are only good, they have to work when the shooting starts, right, in contested environments. And we've seen in Ukraine that some have not, and some have lacked the necessary security to enable those Satcom networks to operate in trying times. Centered in everything we do at iDirect Government is security. We have Transec, which is sort of the de facto secure solution for TDMA networks. We have a new product, Scissor, which handles anti-jam and anti-interference issues and challenges in the field. So we're very excited about that and bringing that to our ecosystem. And then we're obviously continue to advance on quantum encryption and zero trust architecture, all sort of the necessary secure capabilities that are needed to, once again, make sure that Satcom network is operating in contested environments.
So security is always top of mind.
Absolutely,
basically.
absolutely, and it's to some respect it's a cost of doing business, but it's an absolute necessity, because once again, these soldiers can't go over the horizon into contested areas and not be able to trust their Satcom and beyond line of sight communication network. So it's incredibly important. Like I said, we're proud to have some of the de facto solutions out there, and we continue to improve upon them.
It's great. Good work that we're doing here to support the warfighter.
Yeah.
I did mention that we're at Soft Week 2023. This is your booth. It's absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to close asking you about your new product that you're announcing here at Soft Week. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So our new product, the 450 MP man pack, so a very small form factor. In fact, here it is. You can see the form factor, not much bigger than an iPhone. And this will go into satellite remote terminals going forward. And this is a software-defined radio. And that's, we talked a lot about multiwaveform and multiorbit. This remote will be able to enable all of that from a small form factor satellite terminal. So you have a soldier that's operating in the field. He wants to operate on an SCPC network or bring that capability to his Satcom needs. He can do that. If he wants to switch to a TDMA network, he can do that. Also the multi-orbit capability we talked about. This has an FPGA, so there'll be multiple capabilities and services that our end user will be able to put onto this terminal to give them the flexibility and dynamic nature. And it's very durable.
Yeah.
It's very durable. So, like I said, this is going to be a game changer.
Yeah.
It's the follow-on to our 950 MP, but like I said, being a software-defined piece of hardware is going to allow to do so many different things to this terminal. So we're very excited about it.
Yeah, very excited.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for telling us about it and for talking to me today.
Yeah.
I want to thank our audience for joining us, and I want to thank iDirect Government, for talking about this very important work that you do.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
You bet, Danielle. You're welcome anytime. Come on by.
All right.
Thanks.